Welcome to the Champion Blueprint Podcast, where mindset meets mission.
We're diving into what it really takes to lead, win, and live with purpose.
From NFL locker rooms to boardrooms, it's all about discipline, core values, and the habits that build champions.
Whether you're leveling up in business, life, or leadership, this is your playbook.
Champion your mindset.
Champion your purpose.
Let's go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome again to your favorite podcast. Champion Blueprint Podcast. George Rogers, as always, the champ himself.
Let's go.
Gary Brackett, how we feeling today, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Obviously, the positive feedback. They said we're dropping gems.
Yeah.
It feels good just to be a light, right?
Yeah.
Something that people can watch, listen to, just get some gems, based on our experiences.
Yeah.
And I think one of my biggest things is contribution. So being able to help people overcome things, think through things.
Yeah.
I think, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, this is something that I remember we had a conversation. We eating downtown, slap fish, and breaking some bread and just kind of connecting with each other, seeing where we are and engaging. And it was like, man, we always want to give back. What's something that we can do? And we thought this podcast, that was kind of the seed that really kind of grew into what we're doing now. And is we got so much knowledge, information, insights, stories that we want to help other business leaders, men, women alike. And then share our experiences, our shared experiences. Over the last couple of weeks, we've done just that. We tapped a little bit last week into the DEI, talked about that and just kind of where things are and the standard of it. Before that, we're talking with the love doctors in the house, doing some counseling. Somebody reached out to me. I was asked, many of you know, 14 years I was in the nonprofit. I was a pastor for 14 years. And I had one of my former members reach out to me and was like, Pastor George. And I'm like, man, I ain't heard those words in I don't know how long. It's been like 12 years since I heard Pastor George at PG. And just to be able to say, some of those seeds about relationships and marriage and communication and clarity, was able to plant a seed in their couple's life. And it's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to do those things and provide the insight. And we're going to do just that again today. Talking about a little bit of change. We kind of dabble a little bit in relationships, do a little bit of business. But one of the things that we've both seen, Gary, over the course of our life is that who you started with in life is not necessarily who's always going to be there with you, even today. And things change, like life changes. And most of it, I would say, is okay. But I've had a couple of relationships and friendships and brothers that I feel like was really close to me that I thought, man, like this is for life. Yeah. And things didn't work out that way. And some of it was chaotic and chaos. Some of it was confusion. And some of it was just like clarity. Like it was meant to be. There's no hard feelings, but we are who we are. We're going in different directions. And our maturity, there's no disdain, but like growth sometimes separates you and really causes, a couple of options for you to have. That's the conversation today. As we talk about friendships and moving forward without, and even the forward with sometimes friction in that aspect. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's funny. Back to the ships, right?
What you say?
Exactly, right. So one of the biggest pillars in our lives is our friendships. Unfortunately, sometimes when we get coupled or we get in relationships, we kind of lose sight of some of those things, right? And I think it's people that have healthy friendships outside of their relationships are the people who continue to thrive. Yeah. There was a study done with some Harvard men and other individuals in Boston, and their metric they were measuring was happiness. And it was like, what makes people continuously happy? And this was out of a group, there were presidents, there were billionaires. And one of the things that they found out in the study that which made people with the happiness was their friendships. Was their relationships with other people and people that they're doing life with. And like you said, sometimes there's friction, sometimes that thing doesn't last for the test of time. But I think this is a good just reassessment on why that occurs. And then more importantly, what you can do, to make sure that you're intentional about your friendships and making sure you're not the reason for it occurring.
Yeah. Growth has a interesting way of really testing loyalty, but also testing the foundation of who you are in my life. Yeah. And as we're growing, and I'll attest to this, some of the people that I call friends today weren't even around 3 years ago. In terms of our daily connection, right? We can talk about our connection.
Yeah, for sure.
Our connection was over a holiday party of a mutual friend who I just reconnected with as well. And so although we went to high school together with Eric and some of our friends, we really didn't hang out a lot. Even in high school days, we were around some of the same groups, but we wasn't like connected. Today, I feel like we talk daily, weekly, sometimes on a day-to-day basis, and just checking in, connecting. And so those things kind of grow, and you connect with people. For me, I know one of the most important things that when I open up or open that door of vulnerability or connection, it's, as you grow and you're a leader, sometimes it's like, why does this person want to connect with me? Right? You'll have those type of relationships like, what do they want?
Yeah.
Right? And then you have some connections that says, this is a genuine situation. They don't want anything from it. Right? But together, there's a mutual, like, I don't want anything. I just want to support you. Yeah. And it's those type of growth mindsets that really I have found recently that has been valuable to me. Where there's no George, I need, or George, I want to see you continue to grow. How are you doing it? How are you doing? Yeah. Right? There's check-ins with those things. And so when it comes to these type of relationships, it's not just in the out of the work, but it's also impacting the workplace as well. Yep. And how we're connecting with those friendships. And so this conversation is leadership. Yeah. First, again, it's internal, external. This is how are we growing these things? Because I believe friendships have seasons. Yeah. And sometimes it's, you'll see those windows, elementary. I call all my levels. I just use the whole grading system, right? Yeah. I got elementary friendships. I got some middle school friendships. I got some high school friendships. And then I got some college, and now I have adults, right? And those are I got those levels. I got some immature people. Yeah. You got to have at least one or two.
Yeah, got to.
Because you want to take them out at a comedy show. You want to take them out. We try to have a good time. They're just class clowns. They remind me of the childhood kid who just loved that little attention. And so you got different standards of friendships and connections, and they all belong at certain places. And sometimes they all can be in the same room. Yeah, no question. Right?
It's funny because, some people say, if you outgrow somebody, you just gotta leave them. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's like you said, there's seasons. There's occasions that friendship and a level of friendship is good, right? I'm gonna take a different person to a Colts game, to a comedy show than I would business, 2-day mastermind. Yeah. Right. And it's just based on, I think, what each individual's destiny is and what their future, focusing and looking at. And I think that's okay. I think where people get into trouble is they try to have friends be end all be all. Yeah. And then they get upset if somebody doesn't want to go on vacation or they want to do this. Yep. So I think it's just really taking an audit of your friendship and where you're at in that friendship. And while you're growing, I saw this before. I think it was in a book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. No, I'm sorry. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yeah. And in there was a picture of the woman. You ever see this picture? It's like a woman.
Sorry, I was on Audible.
so no visuals. So shout out to everybody listening on Spotify. Yes. But so you will see a picture of a woman that was like beautiful, long neck with a hat on her head, right? And then if you look at it a different type of way, it was also a picture of an old woman. And then what they framed it as was a paradigm shift. Yeah. It was like, you've been looking at something in life one way for so long, but all of a sudden you see something different. Yeah. And what happens is, like, when I see it different, I want you to automatically see it the same way I see it, right? Because now it's different. And it might take you a while timing for you to see it that way. Yeah. Right. But I can't rush and I can't be upset that you don't see it that way. Right. I have to leave that friendship where it is and I have to evolve on what I've seen and what I've learned and what I've grown. And I can't necessarily feel guilty about growing through it. Yeah. Or I can't condemn you for not seeing it. Yep. So it's just this interesting place, or like how you should conduct yourself and how you should move forward.
What I hear you saying is that some friendships are created on proximity and not purpose. Yep. Some are on purpose. Like some, like we have a connection. We have a sense of purpose that aligns together. We don't help champion people's mindset and purpose. Yep. There's a connection there, right? And so you have some of these shared experiences and struggles. And so, I got some friendships that we struggled. We struggled with the same thing. We struggled, growing up in the same environment. And so there's a shared struggle that you're connected with versus like a shared vision. Like we have this vision of, we came from this struggle, but I know somebody else that came from the same struggle and their vision is different. Yep. So I'm connected to them because of a vision versus me connecting with another person because of the struggle. Yeah. And whether that's, hey, we've gone through this together. And that's where that's where disconnect happens in a lot of the growth and friendships and friction and moving forward, is that some people you connect with during a struggle of your life, during a period of your life. Yep. And you now see the struggle as something that is now part of a vision and a mission in your life, or what you don't want to be, or how you can give back, or how you can help and support other people. And that person is still struck on the struggle. It's like, you can't get out of this mess. And, Father used to say, hey, take this mess and make it a message, right? Yeah. Take this test, take it and make it a testimony. And some people just stuck still on the test, not passing the test. And some people pass the test and they're still trying to take the test over because they want a better grade. They want to get one more point over. And it's like you're stuck on that struggle. You're stuck on that proximity versus being able to share that purpose together in life, or being able to create a vision for more than what you've been through, and growing to that next thing, that next step. How do we overcome these things? How do we grow from these things? Yep. How do we heal from these things, right? And being able to take that friendship to the next level. What are some valuable lessons you learned, Gary? Because I think about, we talk about friendships, and I'm thinking, like, even in your life, like you had 50 plus men roster, practice squad people that you're around, connections and friendships, and you separated, not necessarily separate, but you've gone from place, obviously from football. Some people stay in that same culture. Yep. We're still trying to get Gary in the Ring of Honor at the coach. We're also trying to, Gary want to coach. Gary, if Gary coaching, then George has to be there, carry his bags and his clipboards, do all the visual. I got a team for you, Gary, if you want to coach. Man, I love it. He comes with an entourage.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've gone from the football field to the boardrooms, an entrepreneur, and it's different relationships over that time. We just talked about, one of your recent trips, like you have different surroundings and people around you. How were you able to, one, check into that next thing, while also, for a period of time, I would assume it was a struggle between the football friendships and connections and where you're going, and having to meet new people in this industry to help either mentor, coach you, and grow. Yeah. And sometimes what I've learned in my experience is that I got to let go of one thing to be able to hold on to another sometimes.
I think a few things. One, I think we've all had failed friendships and had high expectations, been let down, been betrayed, all those things. And what that does is that, puts an armor on us, that sometimes we're getting a shell and we would no longer think that we're going to expose ourselves. So we no longer grow. So we just hang around with the same people. And I think in order to grow, in order to be successful, they say your success is the average of the 5 closest people around you. Now, if you audit your friendship group and you look at those 5 people, or do you want to be the average of those 5? Yeah. Or do you want to continue to grow and evolve? So I think that's the first thing, not having a mindset that all because something didn't work previously that it can't work before. Yeah. Like, I'm better, I learned, more. I'm one that's not afraid to be vulnerable, that's not afraid to be let down or disappointed, because I feel like I just bank on my ability to bounce back. Yeah. And I'm okay with being disappointed and let down, because I know I'm not going to stay down that way. Yeah. So I don't have this shield up where I'm not going to, expose myself because I never want to get hurt again. I don't think you live life fully if you operate that way. Yeah. So I think for me is put myself out there in rooms, in situations where I want to meet new people. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to evolve. And that's just a part of it. I think one of the worst things that happened to pop culture was Drake and his song, No New Friends.
Yeah, No New Friends.
Right? And people really took that literally. Yeah. And people are still going around saying no new friends, and they're still with their same group of people. And, and that, unfortunately, that group has a lid on it. Yep. And you're never going to be able to grow past that lid because you are doing the same thing, talking the same thing, have the shared experiences. So you can't grow as much if you were to entertain new friendships or, meet new people and be around new ideas.
Sometimes growth has a way of really exposing that insecurity, exposing those things that you're confident in. And I think when one person is growing and the other one is not, or they're both growing at their own speed, right? Some people grow and they're just like, boom. It's like, man, how do I get there? And when I grew up, I used to always I wanted to be TD Jakes. I wanted to be all these different people, these leaders, John Mack. I wanted to be on that stage until I realized I don't know what they went to get to where they are today. Like, I don't want to go through what he went through. I don't want to go through the private behind the doors conversations that I've never seen, the news in his local area that's going to get so I had to stop comparing myself to other people, but at the same time be inspired by their work and their good, to inspire to be able to grow there. And so growth has a way of inspiring you, but also growth has a way of causing insecurities or exposing those insecurities in you. And when it comes to friendships and relationships and leaderships, right, moments like that, whenever there's an insecurity versus inspiration, you got to check it, right? And when I say check it, you got to be able to confront it. You got to be able to say, hey, Gary, I want to see you succeed, and you're succeeding. I see your success. This is what I admire about you. This is what inspires me about you. And we're different levels, different levels, different devils.
Yeah,
you want to go through what I'm going through right now? Because all you see on the internet and social media is a great glimmer. You don't know the struggle at the household. You don't know the family issues. You don't know the health issues, the mental struggles and things of the nature. And so there's always these different things. And this is the thing that I had to do as a friend. I had to receive, and I think we said, and I shared this in previous episodes, I struggle with confrontation. Receiving and being the one to say, hey, this is an issue. Let's deal with it. Right. And so I would always just shut down. And what I had to understand, and as I grew, not necessarily just as a leader, but as a friend, as a brother, as a husband, I grew, I understood that not every criticism was something against me.
Yeah.
Right. Not every growth, moment or confrontation was an attack. Everybody's not out to get George. If you find yourself as a victim in everything that's happening, then there's a deeper issue that we could talk about in the future. But not everyone that's questioning your growth is attacking you. But not everyone not everyone deserves to be at the front and at the seat of the table as well, right? We talked about the elementary. There are certain tables that elementary and middle school kids, those friends ain't coming.
Yeah,
right?
No question.
If I got a room and I got people over, certain people involved in that room. And so you got to be able to understand the mindset that you have is that when it comes to confrontation, as you're growing, not everything is an attack. Accountability is a huge thing in friendships.
Yeah, no doubt. And being self-aware.
Yep.
I think, obviously people go through things and we all deem ourselves as the friend that always will be there.
Yeah.
But if you really be honest with yourself, were you?
Yeah.
Or were you there more so when it was convenient?
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's really, factoring that in and thinking through some of those things and moving forward and aspiring to be better.
Yeah.
I wasn't always a great friend because I wasn't always in a great place.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the love episode. I think you can only love other people to the extent that you love yourself.
Yep. You got to love yourself.
Yeah. So having that healthy relationship with yourself and then being able to then share that with other people, I think is just critical as you're moving forward to positive friendships and how that impacts your life. Yeah.
You mentioned a word earlier, and I want to jump into this, kind of ending on this note, but also because I want to, everything has an evaluation.
Yeah.
We got a blueprint for you on this friendship and friction and moving forward. As you grow, because you got to check in on your friends, you got to check in on your brothers, your sisters. But you talk about disappointment, and we were talking. We have this disappointment data. Disappointment is actually data.
Yeah.
Disappointment is something that you have to keep in your mind because disappointment isn't betrayal. Right. Disappointment isn't always something negative. Disappointment is information, and how do we use this information? For the longest time, and I'm almost opposite. I'm open, but I'm also guarded.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I don't like to be disappointed, so my expectations for people are very 1% and under. Right. I have zero expectations that somebody's going to treat me how I treat them, are going to love me how I love them, or trust me how I trust them. Right. Different people have different stories, and so I'm not going to force and say, "Hey, man, I'm open book for you."
Yeah.
Open up your life. I want to know some deep, dark stuff. I done shared all my stuff, right? People have different vulnerabilities. And I've learned as a leader, but also as a friend, sometimes somebody's been scarred and hurt and betrayed by a friend. And if they don't know your true intent or know your heart, it's hard for them to be vulnerable. And even if they do know your heart, like, I don't gain anything. I heard that before. Yeah. Right. And so there's that limit. But when it comes to disappointment, Gary, I want to talk about this because like you talked about how that information is stored up. And I was thinking like the things, let's talk about some things disappointment teaches us. Yeah. Just for a second. For one, celebrating people, we have a brotherhood, we got a group, and you know, we try to celebrate their wins, right? Yep. Somebody's closing a deal. Somebody's mentor or mentee is doing phenomenal, right? They're getting scholarships for football. Like we try to celebrate those things. How can we help you? How can we champion you to champion that mentee? And so when it comes to those things, sometimes when you're not celebrated just as much as the other, there's a disappointment there. And for me, and I share that one because then I realize as a friend, they can't celebrate what I don't share. Yeah. Right. We just assume somebody's going to ask us, hey, how was it? Versus just saying, hey, listen, I just want to let y'all know, hey, here's a win this week, right? Then it's celebrated. Some people just want that to be pulled out of them. Yeah. And that was me for a long time. I'm vulnerable George. I used to want you to like ask. Yeah. Because that was a different type of connect. Like I felt like you cared when you asked. Right. And that's true. But sometimes you got to be able to expose those things that you won't celebrate it and say, hey, this is what I did. Put it on the table. Now, do they celebrate that? Yeah. Or do they walk past it? For me, one of my biggest disappointments is not what was not said. It was what I did never expose. Of course. And you got to be able to expose those things. Unspoken expectations never get met. Yeah. Say that again. Unspoken expectations never get met. Yeah. So oftentimes we're mad at people for something that they didn't do that we never told them to do. Or knew. Right. All right. So I think, if you want something, say something. Speak up. Yeah. And I think most people want to speak up because of rejection and fear of all those things. And they just goes as far as disappointment being data. If you invited someone somewhere and they said no, all right, you could just use that as data point that moving forward, you're not going to go. Like, were they just not interested or did they have something else going on? Right. So I think you really, and then it's like, too, just like sometimes we could say, oh, he didn't ask, he didn't care, but you didn't know what he was going through right now. Exactly. Right. So nobody's talking and we're just assuming. Exactly. Yep. So I think without those type of questions, because some people are like, oh, we met, some people always say, well, we were out and I saw this person. They act like they didn't even see me. They didn't recognize. No, someone just hit them with a bombshell. Yeah. And they're processing it. And we're in a group of crowd. And although I may look over there, I don't see you. Like I'm in that person. Like, just assumption. Assumption can ruin a lot of friendships. People always say like, oh man, like they get, how many people I meet. And if I see you out, like it doesn't immediately click what your name is. Yeah. And people be like, oh man, like you don't even know my name. Like I have 27 nieces and nephews. I don't know all, like sometimes I be like, hey nephew. I would always get mad at my dad. He'd just be like, Granville, Greg, when are y'all getting here? Yeah. Like, dude, you don't know my name? No, bro. Like, when I was young, I used to hate my grandma. Used to call me my brother's name, and my mom started doing it. As I've gotten older, I realized, man, sometimes you just be stumbling, fumbling on your own people's name, trying to get it out. That stuff happens. Yeah. Other things that I believe disappointment teaches, obviously, when who celebrates you when you're gaining nothing from you. They gain nothing, but they still celebrate you. People who disappear when you're shrinking, right? You're not shrinking anymore to their level. You're staying who you are and remaining. Like that teaches you where that gap is. People are not on that level anymore. The other thing that we talked about was people who only show up when you're useful, right? So as you're growing as a friend, you'll have these three different type of people who celebrate you and have nothing to gain. You'll have these type of friends that they're no longer around because you won't shrink to their level anymore. You won't lower your standards. Like you are the standard. And I want to see you grow. I'm trying to raise you, but they don't want that. They want you to be back to that old George. High school George or that college George, then you got some friends that are getting disappointment because you're not there, you're not useful anymore, and you got standards. I used to loan a lot of money, and now I don't loan any money. I want to know what your money's doing, right? so I want to know how you invested this money. So I used to have a lot of conversations on the phone until I started like establishing my boundary and saying no. Yeah. Right, and people won't call you no more. Like I got great advice. Yeah.
If you want money, I got a sure supply of money.
Yep.
Right? I got plans for my money. But I got a whole bunch of advice for you. But so I think it's that the one thing you made, and I just want to glance over because this is important. When you said that when people disappear, when you shrink, and people have the tendency to say, "Oh, they're acting funny," and they don't want to include you anymore. But I think that's when a true friend really steps in, because anxiety is real, depression is real. This world is getting even tougher, and then people judge themselves against what people are doing online, and what I believe is that people don't post, who they really are. Yeah. Right. And I think when people shrink, when they step back, I think there's more of a reason that you should reach out and include them. Yeah. Because I think that's when people really need some people around them that are good people that have genuine concern about them.
Yeah, I think it comes down to whenever there's disappointment, I try to discern versus detach. Right. Whenever you're going through disappointment in a friendship, in a leadership situation at work or at home, family, your marriage ship, whatever it may be, whatever the ship you're riding on, wherever there's disappointment, choose discernment versus detachment. Like, don't detach yourself from it. Like, how do we grow from this? Even if we're growing apart, how do we both grow? How do I help you heal through this so you're not, going through something or assuming that I have a different motive in this audit? And so, wrapping up, I want to close with this because we were talking as you were coming down to the studio. I was like, man, energy check.
Yeah, right.
And so in every friendship, and again, this is something that John Maxwell does this, and I talked about it before in previous podcasts. John Maxwell does an audit, like a calendar audit, where he goes and audits all his meetings, everybody he's been around, and he has an A and a B, and people that he's that poured into him, and people who drained him, right? And less of these type of the B people, less draining. And how do I get more time with the people that poured into me just as much as I'm pouring into them, right? And so being able to balance that, having friendships, and this is something that I want to use because I want to leave everybody that's listening or you're watching today. I want to leave you with something that's practical. I want to leave you something that is strategic. I want to leave you with a championship blueprint. That's what we do. And so be able to evaluate your friends. These are a few things that we have down for what we call the friendship audit. This is the TFA. Yeah. Right. And so ask yourself, and sometimes I would even say this: if you got a good friend, you should be able to sit down and have these conversations. Yeah. Because I want to know just as much as I'm going to say, all right, I need to do an energy check. How's Gary's energy? Like, what's my energy like after I hang out with him? What is it like mentally? Do I feel drained? Do I feel energized whenever I'm hanging out with Gary? Right? I should be able to have that conversation together and say, hey, Gary, whenever we get done hanging out, how do you feel? What's your energy like? Right. Do you feel inspired? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel lifted up? What's the 60-40? Is it 50-50? What is that? So having an energy audit and saying, when I'm around this person, my energy always seems to be X. Yep. Right? And if it's negative, how do I limit that? How do I change that? Is it changeable? Yeah. Does that person want to bring a different energy? Are you afraid to even have that conversation and confront that issue? Yep. But that's something you should do. The second thing you should do is do a growth check. Is Gary helping me grow into the man that I want to be, the father I want to be? How's Gary impacting every lead, what I call leads in my life? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. How are the leads in my life impacted in the growth of this friendship? Yeah, on those areas.
But I think to that point, I think that's where we have to communicate areas that we want to grow in. Yep. And then having someone and giving someone else the permission to hold us accountable to what we said we want to grow in.
Yep. And I'll say this, Gary, if it's a good friend and I know, hey, Gary's wanting to grow the business. Yep. I'm not asking if you want to be accountable. I'm just going to hold you accountable to the extent because as a friend, I know that this is a desire you want, right? And so I'm not going to ask you to be accountable. Now, if I hold you accountable, Gary's like, who do you think you are? I'm going to say a friend. Yeah. Somebody who cares about you. Yeah. You said that you wanted to do this. I just want to make sure that you're on the path to do that. And that's where you'll see the difference between the growth and the disconnect friendships, right? The growth friendship where they desire to have something. You hold them accountable. Thank you for that. Now, if Gary's going through hell, in 3 weeks, and I check in on him, and the first thing I'm doing is confronting an issue versus saying, "Hey, Gary, how you feeling today?" Right? How you got to be able to check. There's a steps to this because assuming that somebody's in the mood to be held accountable all the time, I get that, and I agree with you there. You got to be able to understand the temperature in the room because Gary could have went through some stuff today.
Yeah.
Could have had a phone call that wasn't pleasing. And here I am walking in and saying, hey, why aren't you hitting your numbers, man? Yep. What's going on? And I don't know. Gary needs me for the now, not what's going on next.
Yep, that's good.
And you got to be able to check those things in. And so do they encourage you to grow, or are they tolerating it at the pace? Number 3, the truth check.
Yep.
Truth check. Can they tell me hard truths? And this is the key for me. I want Gary to hold George accountable and tell me the hard truths. And it's not tearing me down.
Yep.
And having that mindset, a friendship understanding that, yeah, this may feel like it's tearing you down, but maybe it's actually tearing up. Maybe it's some uprooting, right? When I used to love saying, let's raise hell when I was younger. And everybody thought I was saying R-A-I-S-E, raise,
right.
But R-A-Z-E, which means to tear down and destroy. Like, let's raise some hell. Let's tear down the things that's not meant to be in our life. Let's tear down and tear up these roots that are causing negativity, right? And so raising hell is not always like, boom. Sometimes it's uprooting things that have been planted that shouldn't be there growing in your life. And it's not meant for you to feel like you're being teared down. It's listen, I'm trying to hold you up from the things that's actually pulling you down. And so here's a truth check. Right. So you got to be able to have those type of audits and friendships.
And this one, I would say, a lot of times not what you say is how you say it. So how you frame this, right, I think is very critical.
And that's the truth, because I tell my employees, like, you can tell me the truth. Tell me I'm a horrible boss. Tell me I didn't live up to the values of our company and the promises that we made as a business. You can tell me all those things, but you telling me that is not going to hurt me. How you tell me that may hurt you.
May hurt you.
It's not going to hurt me, because the truth is the truth, and I'm able to live with that. It'll hurt, but truth also heals. And you got to be able to say, hey, listen, truth hurts, but it also heals. And you got to be able to take that time.
I love that.
The next one, number 4, is consistency check. Are you present to both my wins and my losses? Are you present when I am happy, celebrating, let's go out, as much as I am, hey, I don't want to be bothered? Or is it, whenever I don't want to be bothered, you leave? For me, when somebody's like, hey, I ain't in the mood, I just want to check it. Like, we don't have to talk about it now, but can we talk about this later? But is there anything I can do or say right now that can help you, support you? You're not alone, right? And so being consistent, even when somebody doesn't want to be bothered, enough to say, hey, still love you, still care for you, still here for you. You're not, whatever you're dealing with, you're not alone. When you're ready to talk, I'm on the steps, right? I love it. That consistency is huge. And then number 5 is the alignment check. With the alignment check, it's almost as if it should also be realigned, right? Because if you're misaligned in something, and if there's an alignment that's not there, are we still moving like in the same direction? Are we still moving in growing? Like, are we pursuing things together? Or are we in this journey moving, or is there separation and growth? Like, where's our alignment at? Because I need to know, are we still here, or are you trying to go back to elementary mode? Like, what's the energy like? Because alignment is a key for everything for me. If you're misaligned, and look at it as driving a vehicle. If your car is misaligned after hitting a pothole, and you especially if you got electric car like mine and Tesla, like if there's a misalignment and you're pulling in one direction, although you're trying to go in another, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna set you back. That's gonna cause some tension. In there. So you got to make sure that you are aligned in everything that you're doing and saying. Any last recaps, Gary, as we wrap up this episode?
Just lastly, I think people sometimes confuse their friends that challenge them and want them to grow and tell them the truth and don't accept them. They feel like those friends are challenging friends. Like they don't love them as much as their friends, to just let them be who they're going to be. And I just think it's harmful to have too many people around you that let you be who you want to be.
Yes, man.
And just let you deteriorate. And just like don't call you out on your flaws and your BS, right? Because then you think that's appropriate, and it's not. So I think having people that could truly call you out and you give them permission to do so, I think is extremely powerful on the championship blueprint. You living your best life possible. Things either grow or they die. And that's
good.
So true with friendships. And if you don't have people in here that challenging you, then you all just dying together.
Yeah. This whole friendship, forward friction conversation is not necessarily, for me, it's not always about cutting people off.
Yeah.
Like, even in those evaluations, it's about clarity. Like I want you in my life, but I also need to know where you are in my life.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to have that. Real quick, rapid fire, 5 ways.
Yeah.
I got this. I was just thinking of 5 ways to be a better friend. Number 1, celebrate without comparison.
Yes.
Their wins don't diminish yours.
Yep.
Number 2, speak truth without ego.
Yep.
Right? Correction without control. Got to be able to have those. Number 3, honor boundaries. Right? Know the boundary. Access is earned, not always ensured. It's not always guaranteed. So you got to be able to honor those boundaries. Number 4, evolve loudly, not secretly. Growth doesn't require disappearing.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I get it. Sometimes you got to get bunkered in and get some stuff done.
Right.
But make sure that you are evolving loudly, that you see those, because those are motivation and inspiration. I used to mess with Eric all the time, seeing his wins. I'm like, man, I ain't got a rich friend no more. I got a wealthy friend. I want to celebrate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like if you go to my car, my Tesla, his address is my wealthy friend Eric. Right? Yeah. but I speak life on those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not to be jealous. I celebrate those wins. And then number 5, release without resentment. Whatever it is that could hold you back, that could cause tension, release it without resentment. Bless people, even if they can't go with you. Bless people, even if they not blessing you back, is the key for that. And so once again, Gary, this has been a good conversation, man.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to evaluate your friendships, man, and the brotherhoods that you create. And sometimes those things cause friction, but you got to be able to move forward in those things. So once again, Gary Brackett, George Rogers, Champion Blueprint Podcast. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, always remember to champion your mindset and champion your purpose. Let's go.